just to showcase how you can write a patient safety narrative for yourself, right? And why this document is so important. uh, it is important because many medical writers, they start their career with patient safety narratives. Now you may ask how. Because the patient safety narrative document is smallest document in a medical writing, but the number of but these are prepared in bulk. Like your CSR protocol per study will be only one, but narratives are in bulk. They are prepared in hundreds and hundreds, you know, quantity. So that's the reason that most of medical writers, they start their career as a patient safety narrative writers. Another aspect is the organization, maybe contract research organization and the pharma companies, they are having a separate positions for a safety narrative. So that is introduction, so that you will learn. What we will cover is the definition of safety narrative, like what safety narrative will be written, right? So that is, then we will also discuss the definition of adverse event, serious adverse event, unexpected adverse event, very important definitions. What is the process? How you can develop the safety narratives? What is the highlight of the process? Not only that, what are the source document? Hmm? Like in the protocol, we studied that IV investigator brochure should be in your hand. Then you will be able to prepare your protocol. For case reports, for informed consent form, we have discussed. It's good if you are having a protocol ready with you. Then you will be able to prepare it. Then we will also discuss what are the key contents of the safety narrative. What are all are the different sections within safety narrative, the way we discussed in the protocol. Now, because of technology, now there is a quite new term, era in a narrative writing is auto-generative narrative. What is auto-generative narrative? That with the help of AI, artificial technology, you are able to prepare the narratives. Then at the end, we will conclude our session. I will say, if you will pay attention to this session, if tomorrow you are having an interview for you can say that medical writing job, especially for safety narratives, surely you will be able to pass that 200%. Now, introduction part. I know this is little theory, but this is important. Just pay your attention. Safety narrative is also known as a patient safety narrative. So, if you see in the job role, it is written they need a patient safety narrative writers or safety narrative writers. It is one and the same thing. And this is also the profile which overlaps between medical writing plus pharmacovigilance, because pharmacovigilance team is the one who take care of safety. If there is any side effect, serious adverse event or adverse event, it is a pharmacovigilance team who report it. And narrative writer sometime is are also developed by pharmacovigilance team, so they, in that case, this job will be under the pharmacovigilance department. But of course, medical writers, they are writing this document. So this, there is a little overlap. It is prepared for each adverse event. Suppose one patient has three adverse events, right? Then all three you will write a story of all these three narratives. Narrative is narration, you know. Suppose I will tell you what all happened in today's class, you have to write an essay. It's just like that. So narrative, very clear point. If someone asks, is narrative is written for each event, it is the smallest document in a regulatory writing, 2-3 page document, but of very high importance because it is attached in your clinical study report. Large number of narratives are developed for any size of a clinical trial. You know, maybe there are 500 subject only participated in a clinical trial. It may be possible you all these subject, they may have experience. Suppose there are 500 subject example. 500 subjects. Just on average, they experienced three, which is very small number, three adverse event during the study. Total, just see, 1500 will be the narratives. Those will be prepared for this study. This is the scenario. Suppose just remember there are studies where 10,000, 15,000 patients they do participate. Look at the number of the narratives. So this is how it is calculated. So most of organization do have narrative writing team. Just look at that. That's why they need a narrative writers. So most of the organization do have narrative writing team. They actively hire narrative writers. So this is the scope from job perspective. The big pharma company outsource narrative writing activity to contract research organizations. So all these big pharma company guys, because clinical research, as we studied in our very first class, these are complex business, correct? So some part of their work they do outsource to other organizations. So aim of narrative writing is to be concise and consistent document, and it there should be same information in same paragraph. If you are writing a demographic information in first paragraph, then in all narratives it should be in the first paragraph, so that tomorrow when you are submitting to the regulatory authorities, when they are going through the narrative, similar information they will get in similar section. I will show you one example also that will clarify a lot of your doubt. And narratives are written for all clinical trials throughout phase 1 to 4. Any question till this, guys?
Want to make your career in pharma? Then start learning from our experts and discover new career options. Define a career. Builds essential quality for pharma.